Hello everyone, today we are going to watch the movie, Deranged. Deranged is a psychological horror movie released in 1974. Its plot, loosely based on the crimes of Ezra Cobbs, a middle-aged man in a rural Midwestern community, who begins a string of serial murders and grave robberies after the death of his mother Amanda Cobbs. She is a religious fanatic who has indoctrinated him since childhood to abhor women. Movie starts with the middle-aged man, Ezra Cobbs, who takes care of his bedridden mom. Ezra's father died when he was 10. For the next 15 years, Ezra Cobbs and his mother worked the farm by themselves, growing dependent on each other. Then Amanda Cobbs suffered a paralyzing stroke which crippled her body from the waist down and left her bedridden. Ezra Cobbs enters his mother's room to feed her. He brings her a bowl of soup. He sat near her and starts to speak with her. His mom asks him to take her hand and ask him to hold it. She cannot feel him. Ezra says it must be because of cold and draft and looks around to see the fire pit. Amanda can't see Ezra clearly and says it's time for her to rest in peace. Ezra denied it and thinks she is tired. He tries to feed her the soup. She denies it and asks him to listen to her. She asked him to not to take her to the hospital if she gets into coma. She wants to die in her own bed, in her own room with him nearby. Then she exclaimed that, if he needs any help later after she is gone, call Maureen Shelby. Maureen Shelby is the only woman who she ever trusts, because she is fat. Rest of them are filthy black-souled sluts and money-stealing bitches try to take advantages of you. She asked him to remember that, the wages of sin is gonorrhea, syphilis and death. Leave them alone. All of a sudden Amanda Cobbs died. Then shows the mourning ceremony of Amanda Cobbs. Ezra Cobbs plays the piano. Harlan Coots and Jenny Coots comes for the mourning ceremony. They pay their last respect to the Amanda Cobbs and conveys their condolences to Ezra Cobbs. Harlan says Amanda is a real lady and she was just sleeping there. Ezra exclaims she is. Time passed, but Ezra still refused to accept the death of his mother. He visited her grave 4 to 5 times a week. At home he continued as though she were only away on a trip, and in his despair, he wrote letters to her, to the outside world. Easy was eccentric, but a normal decent guy. He quit farming and hired as a general handyman for his neighbors and especially a good friend of Harlan Coots. But the loneliness within him had grown to a vast abyss and into madness. Nearly a year after his mother's death, he experiences auditory hallucinations of Amanda Cobbs, which compels him to bring her home, so he decides to bring her home. He takes his truck to bring her mother. He arrives at her grave one night and digs the grave where his mother is buried. He hugs her mother's decomposed body and asks sorry to her. Later, on the way to his home he was stopped by the local sheriff. Sheriff warns him that he is speeding on 50 miles, rather it was only 35 miles zone. He suspects Ezra was drunk and checks him. Sheriff smells the rotten smell of the body and thinks that he has drunk something, a bad choice. Ezra explains him that he has not drank anything and explains that the smell is the butchered hog, which he forgot to take it out of the truck, and Sheriff leaves him last one for a while. Then Ezra took his mother to his home and intended to restore her mother. He began reading about embalming and taxidermy. He tried to patch her with fish skin and with wax, until later the idea of using real flesh occurred to him. It was his friend and neighbor who accidentally gave him the inspiration. Ezra and his neighbors sat for lunch. While having lunch they speaks about Miss Johnson's death. Miss Johnson was the old school teacher of both Ezra and his friend Harlan Coots. Ezra got the information from his friend that where she has been buried. Later Ezra goes to the graveyard and dig Miss Johnson's body, bring her to his home, then remove the hair from her head by cutting the head using a cutting tool. He uses the face skin to patch her mother's face. Later Harlan and Jenny talks to Ezra, that he needs a companion, so they ask him to get married. At first he refused to get married because he don't trust women. Ezra says he can only trust Maureen Shelby because she is fat. Harlan and Jenny ask Ezra to meet her and give them a try, so he decided to meet her. Ezra arrives at the doorsteps of Maureen Shelby and introduces himself. Maureen invites him inside his apartment and shares about his husband, who died 4 years before, to Ezra. Ezra shares that he speaks to her mother daily, and Maureen too says that she too talks with her late husband Herbart daily, so they both plan for a get-together on next day. The next day, Ezra meets Maureen in her apartment. Maureen speaks his husband voice and asks Ezra to do him a favor. Ezra asks what favor he wants from him. Maureen speaks in Herbart voice and asks him to have an intercourse with Maureen. They both got aroused and eventually Maureen leads Ezra to her bedroom. It goes well for some time. Suddenly Ezra recalls what his mother says and he took his gun, which he hides it in his outfit, and shoots Maureen Shelby, and eventually she dies. The death of Maureen does not seem to affect Ezra. He went on as if nothing had happened. Now he began to seek the companionship of women. He goes to a bar. There he met Mary Ransom. Mary asks him what he wants to drink. Ezra orders for whiskey sour and he give a lot money to Mary. Mary have it in safe place. Then he drinks more whiskey and gets high. He leaves the bar with the help of Mary. Night after night he waited for the opportunity to be alone with Mary. Then one night Ezra punctured Mary's car tire. He waits in his car for Mary to come outside of the bar. Mary finds that his tire is flattened by someone. Ezra arrives and Mary asks him to drop her in nearby gas station. Ezra agrees and they both start to leave. Mary realizes that Ezra misses the route in going somewhere. She inquires about that to him. Ezra says that he will repair your tire for free and he is going to his home to take tools to repair. Mary agrees to him. Ezra stops the car in front of his home and invites Mary to accompany him. She hesitates to come inside Ezra's home. Ezra went inside his home and doesn't come for a while. Mary loses his patience and decided to sneak in Ezra's house. She lights a match and sees the lamp in front. She light the lamp and took it into her hands and starts to walk. She opens the door and enters into it. She is shocked to see the dead decomposed body and tries to flee the house. She enters the truck and tries to flee but she was caught by Ezra and took her into his house. Meanwhile she opens her eye and discovered that Ezra has removed her clothes to prevent runoff from the house. Ezra removes the belt from Mary and take her to the dining room. Mary was shocked to the bodies in the dining room. Bodies have been set up as if they are seating on the chair. Then Ezra asks her to sit down on the chair which is reserved for her. Ezra asks her to eat. She asks Ezra to untie the belt in her hand. Ezra got aroused by the beauty of her body and he started to touch her body. Mary asked him to untie the belt so that she too can touch him. So Ezra decided to untie her. They both hug each other. Mary acted like hugging him in love. Ezra too believed it. Suddenly Mary grabs the bottle behind Ezra and smash it on Ezra's head. She then tries to escape from the room but Ezra locked it. Ezra grabs the thigh bone and starts to chase her. She then circles around the room and threw the corpse on Ezra and flee the room. Ezra caught her and starts to beat her with the bone and killed her. Next shows the Harlan Coots house. Harlan reads the news about the missing of Mary Ransom. Ezra replies to Harlan that she isn't missing, I got her out at my place. Harlan got furious and asked him to stop joking. While Harlan's son Brad arrives at the home with his girlfriend Sally. Sally works in a hardware store. Ezra got his eyes on her. Then Sally and Brad leaves the home. Then show Sally works in her hardware store. Ezra watches her through the glass from outside. Then Harlan and his son arrives at the store and ask him to come inside the store. Brad speaks with Sally in the reception. While Harlan and Ezra look into the rifle for hunting, Harlan asks Ezra to have a look at the rifle. Ezra holds the rifle in view through the rifle scope. There he spots Brad and Sally kisses each other. Ezra gets upset over that and handed the rifle to Harlan. Harlan asks Ezra to join him for hunting but Ezra was interested in hunting and he denied to go with them. Harlan and Brad leaves the store. Ezra and Sally was all alone in the store. Ezra goes to look around the store to buy something. Ezra took the bullets from the shelf and loads them in the rifle. He aims for Sally. Sally spot Ezra aiming at her with rifle. All of a sudden Ezra shoots her and she falls down. Then Ezra loads her in his truck. He is on the way to his home. While in the truck bed Sally wakes up to see Ezra drives the truck. The bullet just grazed her forehead. She tries to jump out from the truck. Ezra spots Sally in the rear mirror and finds that she is still alive. Sally jumps out and starts to run into the trees before Ezra could caught her. Ezra shoots her with rifle and he misses. Sally run into the trees asking for help. Ezra chases her. Meanwhile Harlan and Brad set up a trap for the deer to get caught and leaves the place. Sally spots Harlan's car and goes nearby to find none was there. While Ezra follows Sally, again Sally starts to run. Sally gets her leg caught in the trap while running through the trees. She hides herself in the nearby bushes to stay away from getting caught by Ezra, but Ezra spots her by the chain and drags her out. Then Ezra shoots her which leads her to instant death. Harlan and Brad takes the car and arrive at the hardware store. There Brad spot the blood on the floor and informs the sheriff. While Ezra unloads Sally for his truck and he drags her into his workshop, sheriff arrive at the spot and inspects the shops and says to Harlan and Brad that you were the last visitor who visited the shop. Brad replies that Ezra was the last one who stayed in the shop after they left. Sheriff decided to take a look at Ezra's place and leaves the store. While Ezra ties her legs with the ropes and hangs her, he then starts to peels of the skin from the Sally's body. Sheriff Harlan and Brad arrive at Ezra's place. They are shocked to see Sally's body hanging upside. Brad goes to see the Sally while Sheriff and Harlan searches for Ezra. Sheriff then goes to Ezra's home. There he spots Ezra sitting on the chair and laughing at them in a deranged state and the movie ends. This movie is based on the real incident that happened in the mid-1950s. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more videos.